What's going on, y'all? Good morning, good morning, good morning. So today, man, I'm gonna talk about real quick the lie that society has told us about what success means. The lie that society tells about what success means. As I've gotten older, I ain't gonna say it's an age thing. I'm gonna say it's a maturity thing. But as I've matured, I think my idea of success and stuff has changed as well. When you're young, part of success is the money. Sometimes it's the fame. Sometimes it's, what I mean, all the things that money and, success, nice things can bring you, can buy you, and different things of that nature. As I've matured, though, I've noticed that what success looks like to me has changed. And I think it's a good reason that things have changed, because sometimes I think when I was younger, if I got the things that I wanted, how would my life have turned out? Yes, I might have more money, but now I'm figuring out that success is peace of mind. Success is freedom. Success is having people around you that love you. I know these things sound like cliche and like cheesy, but for me, where I'm at right now, this is what true success looks like. True success is being able to obviously have monetary gain. I'm not going to say money doesn't help, but when I spend time with my family, when I spend time with my friends, those are moments that I probably enjoy, the most. I do think the money helps because it allows me to have a certain level of, what I'm saying, freedom, a certain level of, okay, I don't have to worry. Like when I do have money, things definitely can go on auto pay. You know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about take it out, take it out, take it out whenever you take it out, but I think success is also changing, your relationship with the world around you. You know what I mean? So how do you reframe what success looks like to you? I think one thing that you have to do is the first thing that you have to do to change what success looks like to you is think about, where did you get this version of success from? Who told you that this was success? Who told you that money, wealth, and material things were success? And I'm not saying that you can't have those things and be deemed successful, or you having those things means that you're a bad person, anything like that. But I think you have to start by looking at what version of success you've gotten and where you gotten it from. I think for me as a person, when I look at success and I've looked at, a lot of these things you got from media, social media, music, and stuff like that, and then you see sometimes, I mean, I haven't gotten there, but you see sometimes with celebrities and people who are famous and things like that, that those things don't always bring happiness. If anything, it brings more of a pressure, I think, sometimes to have to sustain those said lifestyles and things like that. So I think first thing is you have to ultimately see if, for example, when you were in school, and I think this was all of us. We all had friends because of what we liked. You know what I mean? Or these people were our friends because we seen them 5 days out of the week. And then when you graduate high school, your friends circle kind of gets smaller and smaller, and it's because you realize, oh, these are probably, one, only my friends because I seen them every day. Two, what I like has changed. Or three, I really started to understand what I really like. So how do you change your perspective on success? You really find out what you really like. And sometimes I think when you really sit with yourself and you meditate, you pray, but you honestly just kind of sit back and you just start to really ask yourself questions like, why do I like this? Why do I like that? Why do I like that? Then you start to realize, okay, these are the reasons why I like the things that I like. I think for me, success for me is also more of a simple life. It doesn't mean that I don't have money. It doesn't mean that I don't have nice things. But I think I like simple stuff. I do like nice stuff. I'm not gonna say I don't like nice stuff, but I think I like more simplistic ways of living. You know what I mean? With friends and family, like I noticed that a lot of stuff sometimes gives me anxiety. So when I'm with people who have, like friends or like my girl or like her family, and they have like a lot of stuff, it gives me anxiety. So I'm starting to learn that, okay, I'm not a person who likes a lot of stuff. I like more of a simple life. I do like nice things, but that doesn't mean that I need to have a horde of nice things, because over time those nice things, wear down. Sometimes the value goes. And value is what you put on things, right? But I think sometimes those nice trinkets, they're good to have as like milestones to say, hey, I did it. But I don't think they're good to have when you're talking about worth. You know what I mean? Another way to redefine what success looks like for you is, I think, to what are your goals? You know what I mean? What are your goals? And I think once you reach certain milestones, you start to, like, for example, I think for some people it's a monetary goal. Like, hey, once I get this amount of money, it's gonna bring this is success, or this is this and this is that. And I think one thing that I've kind of learned is not to not have money, but that sometimes you don't need all the money that you think that you want or that you need to be able to be successful, to be able to do the things that you want to do. Like, I think for a lot of people, having more money in the bank would allow them more, you know what I'm saying, more chances to travel, more chances to spend time with family, more chances to go on trips and, you know, be on boats and different things like that, try different things. And sometimes it's not, you know, it's not always about the yeah, it's not always about the monetary value of those things. I think it's about how do I get those things. So another thing, like I said, it's your goals. It's how it is understanding that it's not necessarily the money value of it, but it's understanding whatever that value means to you. So for me, sometimes taking more trips doesn't mean that I need to have another 30, 40,000, $50,000 in the bank. Sometimes it's like, okay, when I go on a trip, I need to plan it better. I need to be able to set money aside better. You know what I mean? Like, I need to, and I'm not saying for people who don't have any money at all. I'm not saying that because I know it's hard out here for a lot of people. But sometimes it's just, I do want to take that trip out of the country. You need to start saving for that now. You need to start putting money aside for those things now. You also need to not change what you want, but how you go about it. You know, sometimes you have credit cards that have all these points and stuff. So utilizing those points, you know, utilizing that travel. What I'm trying to say is that sometimes it's different ways of going about getting those goals that you want. And it doesn't always have to be like, I have to be this rich to be able to live that kind of lifestyle. There are a lot of people who travel and different things like that, and they're not rich. They just know how to find the things that they look for. They know how to find cheaper flights. They know how to, you know, get the cruises, you know, at a discount price, or they know how to plan things a certain way. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that's what it is. It's looking at your goals and then finding a way to attain them. So one is looking at what your version of success is and why you believe that. Two is analyzing your goals and seeing, hey, is there a better way for me to, you know, get to these goals? Does that make sense what I'm saying? A third thing I would say about how do I change my perception of success. You just have to do. You know, it's really coming down to do, because I think what I've learned is that people also say that they want a certain level of success, money, stuff like that, but they're not going to do the work it takes to sustain that. And that's not always a bad thing. Sometimes it's just realizing, you know what? I don't want to do all that. You know, life is already hard. I don't want to work more hours than I already work. I want to work less. I want to be able to do do more with less, or I want to be able to do more in less. You know what I mean? So I think for me, as I've worked and stuff like that, it's not that I don't want to make more money. It's definitely that I want to make more money. But sometimes the things that people want to do or would need to do this to gain a certain level of success, I'm not necessarily willing to do. Or it's not something that I want to do. It's not even that I'm not willing to do. I just don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it. So I do think that society, if you're still here, drop a thumbs up. You know, I'm finna wrap this video up. But I do think society has lied to us about success, because it's not, I don't think it's about, you know, necessarily having all the things. And it doesn't mean that you can't have all the things that you want. I think it's realizing that you might not necessarily really want the things that they're telling you that you want. You know what I mean? You have to really sit down and analyze your thing. It's not that I don't want a nice car. It's not that I don't want nice cars. It's not that I don't want a house. It's not that I don't want nice houses or property and stuff like that. But I can only stay in one house at a time. You know, I can only drive one car at a time. I mean, I can drive them different days a week, but I think it's about more of what these things represent. You know what I mean? And so you have to kind of analyze, what is the representation of these things? Like, what is this going to get me? Is it to get the women? Is it to, you know, have more self-worth or self-value? Then if your self-value and your self-worth is only in the things and not in who you are, then I think you'll always be looking for things. So this is kind of what success looks like to me. Is peace. It is freedom. Being able to make money to go do the things that I want to do instead of doing what I have to do. You know, I'm also learning, like I said, with success, you can make more money and do less work. It is possible. But also I'm learning with success too, there is a certain level where you might have to do more work in order to make more money. You know what I mean? Like some of these people, they work a lot. You know what I mean? They work a lot, and some of them are workaholics. And I'm not a person that I don't want to be a workaholic for my success. If that caps how much money I can make, and the things that the things that I can, I don't say I can do because I still can do a lot of things. But if that caps how much money I'm making, I'm okay with that to a certain extent. You know what I mean? Because I want to enjoy my family. You know what I mean? You want to see your kids grow up. You want to see your parents get older, or not get older, but you want to be able to spend time with people you love. So I do think society has lied to us about success. I know they have, because a lot of people do a lot of things to, get things that they want, and they'll do it in unethical ways. And then when they did it, it's not sustainable for them, So I'm not saying don't be successful. I'm not saying don't look for nice cars or nice things like that. I'm not saying just check the reason why you want those things. You know what I mean? And realize if that's something you really, really want, or does it just seem that that's what you want? You know what I mean? I'm still going to get me some nice cars. Still going to have me a nice house. Still going to have nice things in it. But I don't think I need as much of the stuff that people say that you need. That's how they make money, is selling it to you. So this is just, I think, a frame of reference. I hope this gives perspective. If you made it this far into the video, just drop a thumbs up for me. I hope you like it. Till the next time, y'all have a great day. Yeah, and just think about it. What do you really want for yourself? What do you really want in business? What do you really want in your life? And move based on that. Peace.